So, seekers, we should have a knowledge and action. You are the highest level of a seeker. You don't need to practice. The very knowledge is realized here and now. But question is intellect ready to receive the knowledge as it is? When I say you all are real self, you are permanent peace and happiness, did your intellect get it? No. Then how to get it? By practice. 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 So what happens by practice? The intellect removes the veil of ignorance. Understand that, very simple. Intellect removes that very ignorance or the veil of ignorance. What is that ignorance? Not knowing the real self. Not knowing the real self. So what happens by practice? That intellect becomes clear, pure, ready to receive the knowledge. Now the time comes and the teacher says you are real self. Intellect says, yes, I got it. I am there. No, we don't get. So let me explain through the one principle. Who is the newcomer? Welcome, Lara. Very good. Smiley face. I like it. So, now see, understand. What did I talk about it? Knowledge and practice. Now understand, there is a word, phrase. Andhu pangu nyaya. Andhu means, andh means blind. What it has to do with the blindness? Now see, understand that. Andh pangu. Pangu means handicapped. Nyaya. Nyaya means understanding, reasoning, knowledge. What it has to do with our session? Now understand. 5 senses of knowledge and the 5 action, motor organs. Motor organs means action, practice. 5 sense organs means senses of organs of knowledge. And the body is integrating both of them. Clear? I see the road ahead. Who takes the step? Feet. My feet takes the step. It's such a beautiful way to present, these masters have done it. So if we do not integrate eyes, knowledge, that sees the road, feet takes the step. So if I do not integrate the knowledge of the eyes and the action, I will fall down. You see, I close my eyes and I start walking on the road. So that is the meaning of blind. Now understand how the masters gives you the tip of wisdom. Knowledge is handicapped. Action is blind. Why you said this in a spur of a moment? Why you said this? Then later on I realized I should not have said this. Action is blind. So, Master explains a person is blind but has legs that use to beg. Another person has no legs but has eyes. Do you understand that? Knowledge is actionless. Knowledge is actionless. Blind means no knowledge. Blind means ignorance. So the blind man told the handicapped, they got together. So the handicapped who has the eyes told the blind, I will show you the path and you walk on. That is the story of prana, our current sutra, prana and the mind. Mind has the knowledge and the prana can take action, but prana is handicapped. Prana is not handicapped, but prana is blind. Prana is material, matter. So when the prana and the mind come together, this is what the master is saying. Master is saying. Prachadharna vidaranabhyam va pranasya. By the practice of breathing. Now we are coming to the real practice as explained by the Patanjali, as it is. So why we are doing it? Do we have a background? You all are seekers, I believe. So our background is that we have lot of obstacles on the path. That is why we could not reach to the highest state of meditation. We could not awaken to the real self. Before that, Master said that Om meditation not only helps you to succeed, reveals the knowledge of the reality, but also removes all the obstacles. What is before that? That you are the highest level of a seeker. What is before that? That this is the way needs to be practiced. So now you all have a background. So now we are saying Prachadharna Vidaranabhyam. So he says, Patanjali is very kind. Patanjali says, no worries. If you didn't get it by Om meditation, you have understood all the obstacles. Yes, I have understood. So have I been living a life constantly aware? Because all these 9 obstacles pertains to the mind, its attitude, its thought pattern, its past impression, its memories. We talked about it. I don't feel like doing it. I will do it. No. I feel heaviness in the body and the mind. You see all those things that we have discussed. So then the master says, okay, now I understand where is the problem. So we covered Maitri Karuna Mudita Upekshana. Means goal is Bhavanath. Cultivating cheerfulness by 4 attitude, 4 qualities. Why? So that the mind remains empty, mind is not wandering, mind is not distracted, hence we can succeed in meditation. Now the current sutra, Prachadharna Vidaranabhyam va pranasya, or. So Patanjali says or, also. If you do not succeed, then follow this path. So here he says directly, and then we will understand and follows the practice. So he says, you expel the air, breath outside, retain the breath as long as possible, or you inhale and retain the breath inside. So Patanjali explains later what exactly is pranayam. So here he is not talking of pranayam. He says the way that we retain the breath inside or outside will help the mind to remove its blindness. Now go to the story. Recall the story and understand. So it means if we are doing the breathing practice consciously, then it will bring the result. Otherwise, frog in extreme summer or cold, they undergo hibernation. They hardly breathe few breaths. Sometimes they retain the breath for a longer period. Same thing with the polar bears. In extreme cold climate, they bury themselves down. So it is nothing to demonstrate that, oh, I have been retaining the breath for 5 minutes. Retain it for 10 minutes. It doesn't make any difference. But when I'm retaining the breath and the mind is consciously within, I am aware that this mind is within, then it will bring the right result in the very first practice. So here the mind is handicapped. It has to use the prana or the breath to act, to remove the ignorance of the mind. Did you contemplate and reflect? We discussed about what is desire. Desire is the impurity of prana in the mind. Desire, I have a desire. That is the impurity of prana. But that is present in the mind. So another way to understand, prana is the servant of mind. But there is also another way to understand it. If we want to go a little deeper. Sometimes what happens that we have a friend. So here it amounts to servant. Prana is the servant of the mind. So take it that prana, the person is a slave to the master, and the slave has been working, doing everything for the master for many years. And then the master asks, oh, where you have kept it? Come on. He guides the master. Come on, master. I have kept that thing in that room. And the master follows. That is the path of Kundalini. What is that? That the prana, when the mind follows the prana, or the prana follows the mind. When the mind follows the prana, then we have hundreds of breathing practices that helps us to reach to the state of meditation. So here Patanjali is saying, the prana and the mind should work together. Can we add one mantra into that? Yes. So what we are going to do in today's practice, and you should keep that practice with you all the time. Whenever your mind says, I feel heaviness, I don't feel like doing it, open this and do the practice. You will find the result. So what we are going to do in the second or third step of the practice, we will inhale maybe for 10 seconds. So we will retain the breath for 15 seconds. So once we retain the breath, we will recite the mantra that we have been doing for many, many weeks. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu, with the meaning and the knowledge. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be well-being for all. So when there is a well-being for all, that very desire which is an impurity of the prana will leave the mind, will give us a new and a higher level of awareness. Second part is that when you are doing these breathing practices, the goal is to check if the flow of both the nostrils are equal. After 2 or 3 rounds, normally the flow of the air becomes normal. And when the flow is equal, make sure and be certain that the mind now is living within. That is the right time to continue meditating. Then it becomes easy and a play for the mind to live within. And when it lives within, then we achieve success in meditation. Recall yourself, prana is handicapped. Same thing. I gave an example, the motor organs by which we perform an action. So that very action, if it does not carry the right knowledge, it takes us into the wrong direction.
Please unlock your device first.
So what happens? That is what I am saying. So when I am saying you inhale, retain the breath, you retain the breath, and you are looking inside the heart, and you are saying Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu 3 times with the meaning and the knowledge. And after you exhale, allow the breath to be totally normal, perfectly normal. Your mind should not be agitated. Very agitation in the mind is another obstacle in the path of meditation. So, mind should not react. Mind should enjoy doing it. Now what the mind says, I will do it. I will retain the breath for a longer period. So you have already created a reaction in the mind. And that reaction will agitate the prana. And the prana will move in a different direction. That gives some challenges. Sometimes we feel a pressure is more in the eyes or pressure in the head. But retaining the breath for 15 seconds, anyone can do it. So we are not going beyond our normal capacity. The last point is also very important. We think that if I retain the breath for a longer period and I feel some trigger in my brain, so I am carried away, sometime by the dizziness, and sometime by the agitation in the mind. With all the disclaimer, now we will start with the practice. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed, my friends. Stage 1, check. Can the knowledge alone help you to reach to that state? Eyes are closed. You are looking at the body. You are aware of the body. Body is comfortable, and your mind is looking inside the forehead in the space. The space, yes. So you see, when the mind is looking into the space, the mind is absorbed into the space. It has nothing to do. It maintains awareness. You are already there. And then it needs couple of sessions, couple of weeks of the practice. But normally it does not happen. So then we go to, in the stage 1, we go to the next step, looking at the neck joint. Being there. Just being there. You are not acting. We are not putting anything into action. We are not asking the mind to act. Look, and the feeling is there, sensation, comfortable, and steadiness. Shoulder joints. Look, feel. So what do you feel? Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. I believe you are listening and you are aware, because the mind is looking into the space in the first step, and that brings a natural experience of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. What is the point of wisdom here? The mind is inward moving. So it is not identifying itself with the body. So natural result is sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Natural, yes. And what is unnatural? Go back to the obstacles. We are not going there. Become aware of the entire body. All the joints. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. We are still in the stage 1. I am helping you to recall the stage 1. Pertains to only if I say the knowledge practice. Why we are doing it? Mind should live into that wisdom. It should not be swayed, carried away by its own impurities. Did you remember? Desire is the impurity of prana in the mind. Everything should be lucid and clear to you. Then what happens? Because of the past impressions, the body moves and you are not influenced. You continue the journey. See that? That is the power of knowledge. Another obstacle is the mind has an influx of thoughts. So we are not worried about good or bad thoughts, high and low thoughts. What we separate ourselves from the thought. That is what is being carefree. You are standing across the road watching the traffic. That means watching the mental traffic. Watching means watcher, the knower. Knower is always separate from, different from. The known means the thoughts. Now the challenge comes, can we stay into that state for an extended period of time? Sincerity, regularity, continuity for weeks and months, we will reach there. Meditation is finished in that process. But because it is not, that is why we employ different tools and devices. And today's our devices. Breathing. First we will purify the mind. So looking inside the heart means the knowledge part. The mind is maintaining awareness of the space inside the heart, and then start two things. You have to start quick, short in the fast breathing from the ribs, Second part, that now you are also reciting Om mentally with every breath, and see if the mind can keep the pace with the quick, short, and the fast breath. Isn't it a challenge? That challenge is given to intensify, to raise awareness within. Let us start. Through both the nostrils, into the ribs, expansion and contraction of the ribs, and Om also continues. Mental. Continue quick short breath, continue Om recitation mentally without moving the tongue and the lips. Om is the knowledge. Action part, breathing. And stop it. Now at this moment, you simply recognize, accept the changes. How do we accept the changes? By sensation we experience, but we do not react. We are not agitated. So what will happen? The mind will continue to live within. What is agitation? I just told you. Impurity of prana in the mind. We recognize, we accept. Result is sensation, relaxation, and stillness, and conscious awareness that the mind is living within. Now, in that state, looking inside the belly, we will start breathing long and the hissing breath from the belly only. The belly goes in and out with Om. Let us start. Continue the long and the fast breath into the belly. Only the belly moves, not the ribcage. What it means? You are keeping the mind with its awareness and attention. What is that awareness and attention? Takes us to the knowledge. That mind is living within, and you are doing Om, dropping Om. Whether faster or based on your pace or with the breath, whatever it is in the beginning. We'll go deeper later. Continue. Long. Continue. 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 Do not not stop in the middle. If the mind stops in the middle, means what? Obstacle. Mind is causing the problem. And stop it. Your mind may say, why don't you understand? I don't feel like doing it. That is an obstacle. See that? Can you recognize at that subtler level? Then only these breathing practices, including the pranayama, helps us to succeed. Otherwise, we continue to live in our comfort zone and we say, okay, I have done today. No, it will not work that way, my friends, my seekers. So now looking inside the forehead. So pay attention, when we focus inside the forehead in the space, we normally combine the breath from the belly and the rib cage. When we are looking inside the rib cage, it is the breathing from the ribs to heighten our level of awareness there. We need not to even focus deep inside the heart. The mind will naturally go there. Now, looking inside the forehead in the space, and now we start breathing long, deep in the hissing, both from the belly and the rib cage, with recitation of the Om. Pay attention. The mind takes the breath first to the belly, continues into the rib cage, and then exhale from the belly, then the rib cage with Om. Continue. Can we do it? It only demands awareness. Continue. Did I tell you? I see it, see the road ahead, and the feet takes the step. The mind sees the belly, the prana takes the step into the belly, sees the rib cage, expands the rib cage, and then goes, enjoys being aware of the space inside the forehead. Continue. Little deeper, but not very difficult to do it. Continue. Long, deep in the hissing breath. Om recitation continues. And the body remains in the state of stillness, steadiness, except the belly and the rib cage are moving. Mind will pose the problem. That is another issue. Mind will say, no, I'm feeling heavy. What should I do? Continue. I feel lightness. Continue. Look at it. Can I bring the mind to that level of awareness where we bypass all the obstacles? Then the journey becomes easy and we succeed. And stop it. Recognize, accept, couple of things. Recognize, accept all the changes that is taking place at this moment, and knowing the fact, if there is anything changes, do you recall? It is because of the prana. So why to worry? That is why we are doing the breathing practice. But I'm not the change. Just look at the tip of the nose to check if the flow of the breath is equal. Then even I need not to guide you any practice. Why? Because if your mind maintains that flow of the breath, awareness of the equal flow of the breath, it will take naturally to the deeper state of meditation. What a problem! I can do it by force. That is an obstacle. That is why we are learning. So now the first mantra, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. So we visualize, may there be well-being for all when we retain the breath for 15 seconds. So what we are going to do, we inhale very deep, silent. You are just understanding first. You inhale deep, silent and slow. Means what? You inhale into the belly and to the ribcage. Then instant bring your awareness inside the heart. And then we retain the breath for 15 seconds and we will recite the mantra mentally, Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. After reciting, retaining the breath, we will exhale and we wait. We allow the breath to be normal but keep our awareness on the wisdom of Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. So you all are seekers, you have understood it. Let us start breathing deep, silent, slow, both into the belly and the ribcage. Retain the breath. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Slowly release the breath. Then leave the breath to be normal. Allow the breath to be normal. That is the key point. Understand that. We should not release the breath fastly. It should remain deep, silent and slow. Throughout the process, the mind is maintaining its awareness. What is that awareness? Knowledge. What is that knowledge? Is your experience with the breath. Yes, second round. Inhale deeply into the belly. Continue inhaling into the chest, up to the throat. Retain the breath inside. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Release the breath in the same deep, silent, slow manner, and after that leave the breath as it is. Check how long it takes you to return to the normal breath. If it takes long time, we need to do a lot of work. It becomes easy. It doesn't make any difference. We are there. Inhale deeply into the belly, into the rib cage, up to the throat. It is only one breath. Retain the breath. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Release the breath in the same deep, silent, slow manner. Allow the breath to be normal. Now do you see the understanding? Prana, desire, means thought, is the impurity of prana in the mind. What we are doing? We are asking the prana be free in the mind. Inhale one more time. Inhale deeply into the belly and the rib cage. Hold it. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Release. Allow the breath to be normal. Means the prana is not agitating you. Why it agitates you? Because of the past impressions buried deep inside. What? Are we releasing them? Yes. Second mantra, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. So you are absorbed into the space inside the heart by when you retain the breath. Inhale deeply into the belly, into the rib cage, up to the throat. Continue inhaling. It should take time, minimum 10 seconds. That's what I'm noting. Now retain the breath inside. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Leave it, release the breath. Allow the breath to be normal. Only beauty, if I say so, whatever the practice I give to you, it's a conscious journey. What do you mean by conscious? You know what you are doing. So when you know 100% what you are doing, there is no danger. And there is no harm. Second time. Inhale deeply into the belly, into the rib cage, up to the throat. Hold the breath. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Now the time to release the breath. Allow the breath to be normal. There are unusual experiences, pops up. So what is your attitude? Recognize and accept. How simple it is now. Third time, inhale deeply into the belly, into the rib cage, up to the throat. Retain the breath inside. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Release the breath. Seekers do not need any disclaimer. So you know you are a seeker. So a lot of things continues. You see what is most important point, that you do not strain, hesitate, neither the breath nor the mind. Extremely important. Not only what Patanjali says in this sutra, but he also says the same thing in pranayama practices. Let us do one more time. Inhale deeply into the belly. Continue to inhale. So deep, silent, slow. That's why it takes minimum 10 seconds of the breath. Retain the breath. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Release the breath. Allow the breath to be normal. You can find out the past impression, the vasanas, they trigger the body because they have to perform the karma to exhaust them. But what is happening now? The mind is awarefully. It is maintaining a total motionless state of the body. And that goes a long way. Now we'll use the third mantra, that is Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Means, may there be completeness. And completeness in all, do you remember? Sense of wholeness. I am complete. Mind has declared what it means. I don't need anything. Then what it means? Why should I have a thought? Thought comes with an object, seeking something, aware of something. See that? So let us start inhaling deep, silent, slow into the belly, ribcage up to the throat. Stop it, retain the breath inside. Sarvesham swastir sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Release the breath. I can understand. You can retain the breath for a longer period. It is not required. Mind gets excited. No worries. I can retain the breath for a much longer period. That excitement is an obstacle in meditation. We are going deeper and deeper into these practices. Inhale deeply into the belly, chest, deep silence, slow breathing. Retain the breath inside. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Release the breath. Allow the breath to be normal. You just leave the breath. When you have reached your house, does your feet act? You see, that's how I'm relating what I discussed today with the practice. The mind feels that freedom. Why? Impurity of prana is not present in the mind. Inhale deeply, deep silence, slow. Into the belly, rib, throat, retain the breath. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Release the breath. Purnam. The mind knows it, claims it, declares it that I am the whole. I am complete. So when I am complete, seeking outside has no value at all. So you minimize, or I won't say minimize, you make the value of seeking outside worthless. Then what happens? Mind says, I'm not going there. Not going there. Where it will go? Inside. What it will find? It will find our true nature. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Mangalam, may there be auspiciousness for all, means that peace, that well-being, and that completeness merged together. So, that is what living in mindfulness state. Inhale, deep, silent and slow into the belly, ribcage, throat, retain the breath inside. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Release the breath. Very beautiful. I'm not speaking more so that I should not disturb you. Let the time come when your mind will say, you are disturbing a lot to me. You see what is that state? Very deeper. Inhale deeply again, deep, silent and slow into your belly and the ribcage. Retain the breath. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Release the breath. You know inhale deeply into the belly and the ribcage, deep, silent and slow. Continue to inhale. Retain the breath inside. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Release the breath. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So with that mantra, you ask the mind to go deep as possible inside the heart, as you're doing with other mantra. Inhale deeply into the belly, ribcage up to the throat. It should be deep, silent and slow. Retain the breath inside. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Even once, allow the mind to be absorbed deeper within into the infinite space. Release the breath. Only once is okay. Now do it by yourself 3 times, and after doing it 3 times, leave everything. So what you are doing 3 times by yourself, you inhale on your own, you retain the breath, you say Om Shanti 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 once, you check the mind is absorbed deeper within, and then you release the breath. Please don't forget to breathe out. I'm reminding you inhale naturally, belly and the rib cage, looking inside, retaining the breath, holding it for only 1. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Don't allow the mind to get excited. No, I can do it 10 times. Excitement is an obstacle. And release the breath. So once you feel you're normal, do nothing. Now is the time. Stop doing anything. Live into that state of doing nothing. We've done a little longer. We have spent a longer time. What a beautiful way. I could see no one moved, motionless state. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. How are you, David and Jerry?
Very good. It was very deep, very steady. I noticed the temperature rise with the breathing, so my body temperature through the whole thing was higher. For the first part of it, I noticed on my exhale, I could see these blue dots, the indigo dots, almost like flies' eyes. And then for the latter half, that went away. It was just nothing.
Nothing. Beautiful. Beautiful. We are undergoing beautiful experiences. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. I'd say there was just this underlying calm and stillness that I noticed throughout. There was lights, indigo to white, nothingness. But the takeaway was just this underlying stillness within.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. We are progressing ahead, and we will talk about these colors and how these colors convey and what message it conveys. Yes, Terry, how are you?
I had a good experience. I was able to do the whole thing. It was very
I could see that.
even. It was even and smooth. It got all the way up through till the last two of the mantra. Then I started to have a little distraction from things in my body irritating me, but it was a very small amount of distraction.
Small amount of distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good practice. Beautiful. How are you, Stephen?
I'm very good. I would say that in the very beginning, it was very fresh. The air was fresh. The breathing through my both nostrils were very balanced. I agree with Girish. The meditation was just peaceful.
Peaceful.
From start to finish. I felt this movement going from my behind my head to my heart the entire time. So it was just a clean flow of energy.
Clean flow.
And it was very, very nice.
Beautiful. My Guruji used to say, when you are able to declare, I am the peace, done. So, yes, you can reflect on that part. I am the peace. Shanto Ham. How are you, Lara?
I am good. It was quiet, and when I saw a big kind of circle at the beginning, and then it just kind of all, like it was starting when we were starting the breathing practice, and then it kind of just
expansion,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Happy to see you again. And how are you, Kate? And then we'll go to, yes.
It was, I got hot pretty quickly, but then very peaceful.
Very peaceful, good. Can we say this is a hot meditation?
Just the first day.
No, David also experienced temperature rise. No style. Meditation is meditation. How are you, Brandy?
I'm also really good. I don't tend to like to hold my breath, so I anticipated some of that agitation you said might come up, and I didn't have any, which was really nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Kind of like what Stephen said, it was just fresh and smooth, and I feel really peaceful, so thank you.
Beautiful. You see that when the peace is pervading in the background, in the mind, 24/7, you are already there. How are you, Internet?
That was very nice. It was very peaceful, and I felt a sensation of melting, sinking.
That's good.
And just a deep relaxation.
Beautiful.
It was very nice.
Yeah, melting is definitely a sign of going to. And how are you, John?
Okay. Good. Thank you. That I felt very stable. My body was
I could see that.
stable, and I didn't have to attend to it at all. And my awareness was
Beautiful.
more focused on the mantra, and I could sense, the energy moving through the tingling in the front through the whole body.
When the mind withdraws and the prana also withdraws from the body, that causes the hesitation, the body becomes still. That exactly is the principle. And when you did practice, we are aware of the body, but the impressions that causes the hesitation in the body is held back. So the body becomes steady. What a beautiful session. Everybody says, I am nice. Practice is nice. Nobody says, I am also nice. Anyhow, that is good. Any question? Any question? No, I'm just kidding. Yes, Terry, what is your question?
I think at one point you said that during the exercise, prana is handicapped. Did you mean to say that?
You see that the action is blind. No, action is blind, and the knowledge is handicapped.
That's what I thought, yeah.
I see through my eyes. What I see the road ahead. And who takes the action? My feet takes the action. You see that? So the action and the knowledge both are integrated into the body. But I have lost that perfect integration because the mind is moving outward. Mind has lot of impressions. Mind says, I am excited. I lost what action to take. So when sometimes people coach me and they say, we will promote you, and they say, are you excited? I said, no. I'm not excited. Why should I be excited? Oh, then I think it is better to stop our conversation. Stop it. I know that. Why should I be excited? No, I have. So, you see, Eastern wisdom works totally in a different way. And then you rationalize, excitement means this. No, I'm not excited. So you see that you have to think of it. This week you think knowledge, action. I am speaking. That very speaking is an action. Is it blind? Is it blind? Then I will get agitated. Then I have 1 million complaints. Why? Knowledge is not there. Do you see that? No, just think of it. Yeah. That is all for today. Thank you. Very good music. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.